You are about to do the exact opposite and advance the establishment of a Palestinian terror state, which will be led by the Hitler of our times. The Hitler of our times. You are shredding the UN Charter with your own hands.
We faced and continue to face attempts to push us out of geography and out of history. Against all odds, we survived. Our flag flies high and proud in Palestine and across the globe and on the campus of Columbia University. Free Palestine, and peace for all.
After Hitler's rise to power, the Nazis sought to subjugate humanity under their iron fist while annihilating the Jewish people, but not only us, all those who they deemed subhuman. But in the face of this genocidal plot, the forces of good came together in order to end this horror, to return freedom and peace to the world. And following the Allies' victory, this institution here, the United Nations, was founded with the mission of ensuring such tyranny never raises its ugly head again. Never. Today, you are about to do the exact opposite and advance the establishment of a Palestinian terror state, which will be led by the Hitler of our times. The Hitler of our times.
I stand before you as every inch of Gaza has witnessed massacres, as mass graves continue to be uncovered, where hospitals used to stand, as the world is barely starting to grasp the cruel and extensive nature of the actions committed against the Palestinian people. I stand before you as the Israeli Prime Minister is ready to kill thousands more to ensure his political survival, as he openly declares the Palestinian state is an existential threat, and together with his co-conspirators continues 76 years after the Nakba to try and finish the job. Israel's war is against the Palestinian people as a whole. Its occupation forces and settlers kill daily in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. Its bulldozers displace Palestinian communities and demolish Palestinian homes everywhere.
In the 1940s, the world united to destroy a murderous regime. Yet today, with sick and twisted irony, the very body established to prevent evil is now welcoming a terror state into its ranks. What would Churchill say if he were alive today? What would Roosevelt think? They are turning in their graves, turning in their graves. This week, only this week, Israel commemorated Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. And it is during our sacred week that this shameless body has chosen to reward modern-day Nazis with rights and privileges. As Israelis mourn the Jewish babies burned in the crematoria, you here at the UN usher in the collaborators of the Israeli babies burned on October 7th. How can you be so blind? Is it your political interest? Are these your distorted values? Are you being threatened by diplomatic terror of the Palestinians and their collaborators? There are many here.
As we speak, 1.4 million Palestinians in Rafah, wonder if they will survive today, and wonder where to go next. There is nowhere left to go. Mr. President, I have stood hundreds of times before at this podium, often in tragic circumstances, but none comparable to the ones my people endure today. I have stood hundreds of times before at this podium, but never for a more significant vote than the one about to take place, a historic one. We faced and continue to face attempts to push us out of geography and out of history, but by forcible displacement, subjugation, or death, or to say it in even clearer terms, by ethnic cleansing, apartheid, or genocide.
Do you know who controls Gaza? You probably have forgotten, because in all of your resolutions here since October 7th, you have failed to even call them out by name. So I'll remind you, it's the terrorists of Hamas. But Hamas doesn't only control Gaza. Hamas has also taken over Palestinian neighborhoods, Palestinian villages in Judea and Samaria, what you call the West Bank. In every poll, Hamas today is predicted to win Palestinian elections, if they ever happen. So today, the General Assembly is not only about to grant the rights of a state to the Palestinian Terror Authority. Today you are also about to grant privileges and rights to the future terror state of Hamas. You have opened up the United Nations to modern-day Nazis, to genocidal jihadists committed to establishing an Islamic State across Israel and the region, murdering every Jewish man, woman, and child. It makes me sick. Sick. In the years to come, you will have to explain how, in opposition to all morality and the UN Charter, you did everything to give a state to a group of mass murderers, to the Hitlers of our times. So here it is. I present to you the future outcome of today's vote. This is the outcome of your vote. Soon to be President Yihya Sinwar, President Tyrant of the state of Hamas, sponsored by the UN, by the way. And he owes his deepest gratitude to you, the General Assembly.
Against all odds, we survived. Our flag flies high and proud in Palestine and across the globe and on the campus of Columbia University. It has become a symbol raised by all those who believe in freedom and is just rule. By all those who can no longer stand idly by in the face of such utter injustice. It is true that we will not disappear, but the lives lost cannot be restored. The marks, visible and invisible, left by this horrific assault that has yet to end on bodies and souls, on families and communities, on each single Palestinian in the Gaza Strip, can never be truly conveyed.
Today, another travesty is being committed here by the General Assembly, an unforgivable act, the destruction of the United Nations Charter. The UN Charter, the sacred document which serves as the foundation of everything we are supposed to do here is being trampled upon. It is being thrown out the window. You are spitting on the very values that were formulated to bind this organization. With today's destructive resolution, you are circumventing the Security Council, ignoring its decision, and violating the norms this organization has abided by. And I want the entire world to remember this moment, to remember this immoral act. So today, I will hold up a mirror for you. A mirror. This is your mirror. So that you can see exactly what you are inflicting upon the UN Charter with this destructive vote. This is you are shredding the UN Charter with your own hands. Yes, that's what you're doing, shredding the UN Charter.
We did not write the UN Charter. We did not enact international law. We just demanded to see them applied to us, and have been until now denied their protection. As the campaign to displace and destroy the Palestinian people reaches its ultimate levels, you can decide to stand by the right of a nation to live in freedom and dignity on its ancestral land, to stand with peace, which requires the recognition of our rights, not their continued denial. Or you can stand on the sidelines of history, or worse, obstruct its natural path forward. Mr. President, I have sat in these halls next to liberation movements who, one by one, finally took their rightful place in this august chamber, and again, without a doubt, the day will come where Palestine will take its rightful place among the community of free nations. Occupation and colonialism and death and destructions are not our fate. They are imposed on us, but freedom is our sole destiny. We share with many nations represented in this hall the suffering they endured, the struggles they led, the dreams they had. You have been witnesses to the story of Palestine, and you can only look at it from the prism of your own people's journeys towards liberation. Liberation so life can prevail. Liberation so peace can prevail. We want peace. We want freedom. There is no word harder to pronounce when tens of thousands of your people have been killed. We do not use it lightly. We want peace. Our freedom is not an obstacle to peace. It is the only path leading to it. If you do not support our freedom, you do not support peace. In simple words, voting yes is the right thing to do. And I can assure you, you and your country for years to come will be proud to have stood for freedom, justice, and peace in this darkest hour. As everyone is saying, free Palestine, and peace for all.